renamed. I mean, that is the explanation we're getting right now from the presidency, that the ministry wasn't scrapped, it was only renamed or given a new nomenclature. But what difference does it make? I have my guest in the studios this morning to discuss this. He is a rights activist and convener, Niger Delta Development Agenda, the person of Itive Nur Ekwokobe. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure.
Now, the scrapping of the Niger Delta Ministry continues to raise mixed reactions in the polity, with a host of Niger Delta leaders and activists kicking against the move, as the federal government explained that the ministry was renamed and not scrapped. Now, elder statesman and Niger leader Chief Edwin Clark said Niger Delta people would not accept the move, thereby urging President Bola Tinubu to explain to the people of the Niger Delta the ministry was scrapped. Now, Clark had alleged that the federal government was planning to use the resources of the South-South zone to fund other zonal development commissions. However, while briefing State House correspondent after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting, a special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said the Ministry of Niger Delta Development was renamed Ministry of Regional Development, and on his part, the Minister of the newly created Ministry of Regional Development, Engineer Abubakar Momo, who was in charge of the former Ministry of Niger Delta Development, clarified that the Niger Delta Development Commission, that is the NDDC, was still in place, stressing that the Ministry of Niger Delta Development was renamed and given a greater responsibility under the Ministry of Regional Development. He said the new ministry was created to supervise all the agencies under the Ministry of Niger Delta Development and other regional commissions in the country. The explanation is quite lengthy, but we just have to leave it there this morning because we are working with time. Itive Nur Ekwokobe is actually one from the Niger Delta and better abreast with, the development in that region and also that ministry. Well, let me start a conversation this way by asking you whether or not this scrapping or renaming of the ministry came to you as a surprise.
It came to me as a surprise, not just to me. I believe to every Niger Deltan out there who has the interest of the development of Niger Delta at heart. It's a terrible outing, if you ask me. That's what I will tell you. It's a terrible outing by the federal government, and it is we view it as an effort to thwart the holistic development of the Niger Delta region.
How do you mean?
Because the ministry was specifically designed by our President Yaradua in 2008 to streamline attention to addressing the development question of the Niger Delta region. And before we talk about this, we must look at the historical perspective of how we got to that junction. Sometime in 1992, Military President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, created the UMPADEC, Oil Mineral Producing Areas Development Commission. And this was to give critical attention to the Niger Delta region, which is perceived to be the economic mainstay of our country.
Is it really?
It is. We cannot shy away from that fact, because just some years ago, in the heat of the Niger Delta Avengers insurgents, where pipelines were destroyed, Transfogados, pipelines and all that were blown up, we know how much the Nigeria's economy suffered. So if you tell us that Nigeria is not feeding off crude oil, why did the economy suffer so much when these crude oil pipelines and installations were tampered with? If you say there are other means, there are other channels of getting money and boosting our economy, why were those channels not viable at the time of the heat of that restiveness? So it brings us back.
Taking a look at the reality on ground, is that something to still brag about? I mean, there are recommendations that we look beyond, oil.
I say that sadly. I'm not proud of it to say that, there was restiveness in this region, but we are trying to assess the effect of what has happened and to drive a conclusion that yes, if this has happened and this was the result, then we are right to say that this is where our economic power is coming from.
All right.
So the creation of that UMPADEC was to give critical attention to the development question of the Niger Delta region. Eventually, he metamorphosed it to NDDC in 2000 by President Olusegun Obasanjo, Niger Delta Development Commission. However, this was also informed by the agitation of some ethnic groups in the Niger Delta region after the Kayama Declaration of 1998 by the Joy Youth Council. Of course, Ogoni ethnic nationality also contributed immensely to the push for the consciousness and the need for development of the region. And whether we like it or not, the indices are there, the details are there, that this region since 1956, crude oil being explored from this region, there are a lot of effect of the crude oil exploration on our people. Gas flaring particularly, degradation of our environment. Life expectancy in the Niger Delta region has dropped drastically. You know, as compared to the general life expectancy of Nigerians, particularly the Niger Delta region. There's high rate of infertility in the region now. There are high rates of cancer related ailments. We can't drink potable water anymore.
From the river or the streams?
From rivers and streams. Mm-hmm. So the essence of these agencies, commissions and ministries set up by the federal government was to give critical attention. Agreed that there are budgetary provisions for every region in the country.
Right.
But because this region is contributing so much to the development of this country, it is only fair that attention be given to them. That is why after NDDC was created, certain persons who came to Abuja for, as we used to say, it is 1 million man march. They came to Abuja and saw the rate of development here. They saw flyover bridges. They saw good roads. They went home and realized that what are we doing? They told us that we cannot have flyover bridges here, that our terrain is too marshy and to cost the government so much. But they went to Abuja and they saw projects of such magnitude. Our people said no, that if we are contributing so much to the development of this region, we must be accorded that respect and given certain considerations. So the NDDC was created. Eventually, the Niger Delta Ministry was created. Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. So these organizations, these bodies, these ministries and commissions were created to lessen, to weaken the plight of the people of the Niger Delta region.
But in reality, what is obtainable is completely different from the the objectives of this ministry or commissions, if you like.
I agree with you. I'm one of those who have over time cried out and examined the state of corruption in the region, especially the management of resources allocated to the region. As of 2021, it's on record that we had over 13,000 projects that were either not completed or abandoned totally in the Niger Delta region under the Niger Delta Development Commission. And as of 2021, it's on record that 6 trillion naira had been allocated to the Niger Delta Development region. Now you ask me, what have we done with our resources allocated to us? What has the leaders of the region done? What has the federal government done in managing and ensuring that these allocated resources are utilized for exactly what they were meant for? Lapses are there. A lot of persons have enriched themselves. The federal government conducted a forensic audit on the Niger Delta Development Commission. Till today, what is in that audit report has not been unveiled to the public, which I also see as a very critical anomaly, because it's our money. We should know what certain persons in the region or certain persons who seem to be in power have done with our money. But today we are not aware of what has happened to those monies. So I will agree with you that there have been cases of mismanagement, diversion of funds, looting of our commonwealth, And I can now deduce that it's even a deliberate ploy by certain persons to underdevelop the region.
When you say it is a deliberate ploy, by who exactly?
By these certain persons who have manned these offices.
So what is? Would you want to mention names?
I wouldn't want to go into those, but it's in public. They are in public domain. A lot of persons have been probed by EFCC. Some have gone to jail. Some have remitted monies back to the federal government from the NDDC, from the Ministry of Niger Delta. So I wouldn't want to go into name mentioning, but they're all online. If you go online, you Google them, you will see names of those who have been prosecuted by the EFCC. Those who have gone to jail.
Now, the minister of the newly created Ministry of Regional Development, the person of Engineer Abubakar Momo, who was in charge of the former Ministry of Niger Delta Development, how would you even, assess his performance thus far?
It has been the same ball game. I cannot tell you that I pass a vote of confidence on the minister because, like I told someone recently, I say, whether we like it or not, despite the fact that we saw an aggravated level of corruption and mismanagement under the leadership of the current Senate President when he was minister, but there were some indices of development here and there. There was action. People felt that, okay, the ministry was working. We saw moves. But this government, 1 year has gone. We cannot point any project or actions taken by this minister to say this is what this minister has done so far. I learned he was a contractor before he became a minister. He's an engineer. So as a contractor and as an engineer, what are the projects he can point to say this is what we've done?
But will it be intelligent to even think that Engineer Abubakar Momo is one of those you are referring to, talking about the deliberate ploy to make sure that the region is underdeveloped?
I will tell you this critically, also strategically rather, that when you are saddled with an office, and you know the role, your duties in that office, and you are failing in your duties in that office, it will not be far-fetched for anybody to conclude that there is a deliberate ploy by you, because we are aware that the funds are there. There is budgetary allocations for those funds, which have been approved by the National Assembly. What behoves on you? It behoves on you now, as the minister of that ministry, to ensure viable procurement for those projects and for them to be awarded. It is within his purview. So what are the jobs that he has awarded? We've seen a lot of fictitious projects and memos of training here and there. Trainings are not the critical role of this ministry or even the Niger Delta Development Commission. Of course, I believe in the importance of empowerment of manpower, and human capital development and all that. But we have a serious deficit in infrastructure development in the region. So if monies are being allocated to this region for development, that is what we should be looking at. Look at what we are suffering. East-West Road is there. For how many years? Ministry of Niger Delta has existed for 16 years, established in 2008 till now. That's about 16 years of existence. What can the ministry point to now that it has been, scrapped or let's say renamed, that these are our achievements? What can they point at to say these are our achievements for 16 years? What have we done with the money?
But when you talk about the infrastructural deficits and maybe social inequality, environmental justice, and of course youth restiveness, which is of course very, very important, the fact that these issues have been there for quite some time, could it be the fault of the people in the region not being able to hold the relevant stakeholders to account, or it's just a case of maybe the federal government turning a blind eye to some of these concerns?
How can we hold the relevant stakeholders in the development question of the Niger Delta to account? We can only do this through the legal channels that we have. We cannot go illegal. And how can we do that? It's by writing petitions. It's by asking questions. is by following up on development indices. And there are a lot of persons who are doing it in the region. But the question is, what are the machineries to encourage the checks and balances? How viable is the EFCC and ICPC in addressing these issues of underdevelopment that have been raised severally by stakeholders in the region? What is the interest of the federal? I just stated this clearly here, that our forensic audit report, that billions of naira were spent to conduct. The report has been submitted to the presidency under President Muhammadu Buhari's government. As we speak till now, we don't know what is in that report.
Let's flash back. I'm sorry to interject. Let's flash back to the case of Ponde. I mean, some time ago, a committee was set up, to probe, financial mismanagement, misappropriation, and whatnot. But I think a concern now would be the fact that when these, probes or committees are set up, there is usually no feedback at the end of the day.
But that is the same thing I'm saying. It was just, they played to the gallery. In the end, of the mic and all that came out. So in the end, it became an entertainment circus where Nigerians would just go on social media and say, Professor Pondi fainted. Oh, this one did this. Oh, and for 2 months, people discussed that, and we forget the mainstay, the reason for that probe. In the end, so everything boils down. In the end, it zeroed down to the forensic audit report, which I just stated as till now has not been acted on. We don't even know what is inside. Who are the persons mentioned to have embezzled monies meant for development of Niger Delta region? We don't know. Those who have mismanaged our funds, we don't know. Where are the funds? Where are the funds? 6 trillion naira between 2000 and 2021 have gone to that development commission. Until now, no one can account really that this is what we have done with the money. There was a time we did a probe of the budget and all that. There was time I saw, I think, 15 billion naira for upgrade of internet service in Niger Delta region. And I asked one of our stakeholders, I said, since when did NDDC turn to internet service provider? That 15 billion naira was budgeted for upgrade of internet service in the Niger Delta region. So you can see, these are some of the titles and subheads that we see on paper. Clearing of water hyacinth. Water hyacinth became a very big issue in the Niger Delta region. Water hyacinth project, they will say they want to clear water, and we know in the region, those who reside in the region, that water hyacinth, if you clear it today, the next tides that comes will bring fresh ones to cover the water. So what are we doing?
Now, you take a look at the dissenting voices, right, trailing this development, whether or not it was scrapped or renamed. The person of elder statesman and Niger leader, Chief Edwin Clark, has been very, very vocal, saying that the Niger Delta people would not accept this, move, whether it was renamed or it was scrapped. But let's not even make a storm in a teacup over that. What would you even...
We must.
What difference does it make?
We must.
Apparently, it does not make any difference.
No, we must.
It's just more responsibility for the ministry. It's not like it was scrapped.
You see, the Niger Delta Development, Ministry of Niger Delta Development Affairs, which metamorphosed to develop Niger Delta Development, was created particularly to streamline attention to monitoring and ensuring that budgetary allocations for the development of the region were used for what they were budgeted for, one, and then to allow more room for development of the region. And first, I will tell you too that I agree in totality with the position of our elder statesman,
okay,
Edwin Clark, because a bulk of the funding of this ministry and the NDDC were from funds allocated from what was coming out from crude oil exploration. So they say, let us reserve a particular percentage for the development of this region. Now, other regional development commissions have been created. How will those development commissions be funded? Will they be funded from the same crude oil exploration funds from crude oil, or there are funds emanating from such regions that certain percentage has been set aside to say, let us fund this commission? If the money is still coming from Niger Delta region, then what are we doing? Because Northwest today, the bulk of gold mining in Nigeria is in the Northwest. As we speak, the federal government has not given us a critical position on what is happening to Nigeria's gold. We've seen it. We've had it in certain quarters, even from anti-graft agencies, that 40% of the gold in Dubai is from Nigeria, illegally mined and transported from Nigeria. This is money that is supposed to go to the federal government, and from which percentage is to be set out for development of that region. But today we don't know what is happening. There's a lot of mining going on in the north. There's a lot of mining going on in the east.
Illegal mining.
Illegal mining. So our resources are being stolen, unaccounted for, pocketed by certain persons and interests, both national and international. And no one is talking about it. Then the little one that comes to the Niger Delta, you want to take it away from us, knowing fully well that we have ceded everything we have to the government.
But don't you think the concerns of Edwin Clark actually comes with some sort of sentiment attached, probably because of, you know, some sort of gains he's actually enjoying from?
No. Far from that. The man is 95 years old.
Because we've been made to understand that some oil producing communities have they've actually differed in thought. Throwing their weight behind this move by the presidency, right, to rename that ministry, noting that the Ministry of Niger Delta Development had largely duplicated the roles of the Niger Delta Development Commission, with both agencies having overlapping functions and little to show for the ministry's existence of over a past 12 years.
The only reason I will applaud this renaming of the ministry to become a Ministry of Regional Development is because of the administrative convenience it will give to the federal government.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Administrative convenience in the sense that it has now become a body to hold all development commissions together to manage them effectively. On that ground, I would say yes, the federal government is doing something tangible. They are trying to streamline their efforts and attention. But on the sentiments, on the ground of sentiments of a Niger Delta, I will tell you that it will be wrong for anybody in that region to come out to say, because there has been high level of mismanagement, there has been high level of theft, money laundering, and diversion of our funds, and for that reason this Ministry of Niger Delta should be scrapped or renamed. I will differ in thought and tell the person is making the wrong decision and is saying the wrong thing. And I will tell you this: should we say that because governors are stealing money, governors are underdeveloping our states, let us not have a governor at the state level? We cannot say that. Agreed that mistakes have been made, decisions have been taken by certain stakeholders in the region that has not favored, that have not carried the true, that has not reflected the true interest of the Niger Delta region. Agreed. But then, does that mean that we should throw away the baby and the bathwater and the baby? We cannot do that. It will take time. We will get it right. We are getting it right. It is a process. People are hungry. Institutions are not working viably. Our system is faulty. So we have seen a lot of human capital servicing than actual interest or attention to infrastructural development. And that's what I said earlier. So I think that is one of the major reasons behind the lag in actualizing the true intentions of these commissions and agencies.
Now let's talk about, the state governments in this region. Would you say that they've actually collaborated well in terms of, coordinating efforts, to avoid the perceived duplication in that region or ministry?
I will tell you that there was no duplication in ministry or the commission. What the problem we had was more political. And you see, it's a general problem in Nigeria, the politics of power. The governors believe that since this development is it is directly to their region, to their states, they should have a say in what happens. those who are appointed to head these commissions and the Ministry of Niger Delta believe that, look, since they are there at the federal level, the only person they should listen to is the president. And they come up with such excuses because it is convenient to allow them room to take charge of what they have been given. What I've seen is that we have a lag in coherence between the leadership of Niger Delta at the federal government level and at the state level. That is the only problem I think we have. That all leaders, all governors and minister of Niger Delta, and every time the minister of Niger Delta is always from Niger Delta. So it's we. We're supposed to come together to say, this is what we want to do for the region. I will stick to it. But it has not always been the case. Then after a while, it became a case of party politics. Because the federal government got a different party, and at the state level, there were different parties. So it became a matter of funding. If I do this for you, you get more power, and my power is reduced. So the politics is what I say. Everything boils down to power politics. And that's what has affected the implementation, the viability of these agencies and commissions.
All right, I'll let you hold your thoughts. We're due for a commercial break, and to the listener out there, you might want to be part of the conversation. And the numbers to call, as a matter of fact, to share your thoughts would be 09087668888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. Let's see if we can take this call before embarking on the
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Niger is my name. I'm calling from Cuba.
All right, please go ahead.
The spokesman there, I have 3 questions to ask him. You see, if there's something go wrong, if you want it to continue go wrong, the corruption in Niger Delta means is too much. You remember, off your mic, the Senate president now. What of that case? Forensic report. Where that case? You don't know, say the corruption in Niger Delta did not start from today. During Abacha has to exclude some leader in Niger Delta there. Kill them because of corruption. Good luck, pump many money. It appear to good luck, try one day because of Niger Delta. The money you are pumping to them, they did not work it. Me personally, at Niger, I go and marry to my son in Warri in June. The first railway station, because I joined the railway station from using train from Takwe. The first railway station where we drop. If you see the road go to town, it is a airport road, NNPC road. That railway station where we drop before we got into town. If they tell me, say, that place, my village, better than that road, before we go to that place. 2, inside Epu Road itself, where the estate, NNPC road, water everywhere, there's no channel, all the road is bad. When we finish that marriage, they have to take me to Major Railway, down there inside Warri. You don't know, say it takes us more than 3 hours from Epu Road before we go to that railway because there's no road there. They are pumping money, continue pumping money to Niger Delta Ministry. And then the origin of Niger Delta, they consume that money. And then there's no development there. Now the federal government have gone down. Let us unite this disease. Abubakar, where you are talking, when they create this means since about 3 days ago, I'm a security expert. And then we don't put searchlight for that man. Who is that man? That man, since where they post into Niger Delta Ministry, he refused to bring the money out for those people corrupted the people. That the ongoing project where they are giving the money.
All right.
He refused.
Hello?
Yes, I'd like you to wrap up your thoughts.
Still appointing because since where he go there, he was very strict because the money they consume there without work on the ground, he refused to give them.
Elder, let's leave it here for now. Thank you.
I'm appealing to attract. It's a highly respected Nigeria to wait first and see how the government are going to do before the sites come out. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Onoja, for your line of thought right there. The numbers to call are still 09087668888 or 09073530044. Don't forget you can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 0909-705-4450. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Honorable Edward Funapo. You stop picking my play my voicemail.
No, you sent your voice note. You sent it late earlier.
No, I don't know what I've done.
No, you didn't do anything. You sent it late.
Maybe that was network. I want to talk about this Niger data. I extend my greeting to our guest. He's been a little bit emotional, which I agree. We are all human beings. The truth of the matter is that no government will scrap a ministry on the basis of non-performance. No government. If you are going for that, you change the head. Honestly speaking, as a contractor, can you go to Niger Delta and bid for a work, bid for a contract there? One, you will not be paid. Two, you'll be frustrated from A to B, coming to Z. The creation of Niger Delta, some of us celebrated it. We were so much happy because, Yaradua actually came in with a good intention for Niger Delta. But everybody that is appointed as the head of this thing, it's from Niger Delta. What are Nigeria going to do again? They refuse completely to develop that region. What do you expect the president Tinubu to do? No, he said you should come together. And you all of us, let's be in one ministry. And then you have a Niger Delta commission. In fact, if you're having that and you're having Niger Delta, that's the duplication. And we are talking about cost of running government. It's just the way Mr. President said yesterday that ministers should drive only 3 cars. Of course, that one I disagree with you because how many cars were they driving? Official cars, the minister were 3. We are reducing from which number to which number. So Niger Delta issue, my brother who is there, he should know that truly speaking, is the same Niger Delta indigenous that frustrated this thing, and I don't want that place to be developed. All of us, I am from North. If I have opportunity to be in charge, I will try my best to develop like this. It pains some of us. I think there's any biasness to this here. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Edward. Right, we'll just take this quick break now. When we come back, the studio lines will still be open for you to call in to share your thoughts. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Welcome to Feminism Friday, where every Friday is a celebration of gender equality and empowerment. Tune in to Eagles FM 102.3 from 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Friday for inspiring talks on gender roles, women's rights, and inclusivity. Join us for inspiring conversations, insightful discussions, and the best part is that you get to contribute and be part of the program. The show will spotlight the champions of feminism and offering actionable steps for a just and equitable Nigeria. Feminism Lab, where your voice makes a difference. Take action with us now. The program is a production of Feminism Lab, sponsored by Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, Nigeria.
Have you heard of the latest car maintenance, overhaul and repair service center in Abuja?
Oh, wait a minute.
BB Empire Motor Services Limited is the place. We offer a wide range of services which include full engine repair, brakes and discs, lubrication, industrial spare parts fabrication, digital diagnosing, injector and rotor servicing, wheel balancing alignment, vulcanizing, spare parts of all cars, car checker, recovery of vehicles, AC servicing and repairs of all kinds of cars. You can visit us today at a state-of-the-art multi-digital workshop located at plot 1374 Cadastral Zone C16 along Julius Berger Road, Idu Industrial District, Abuja. You can also call us on 080-6433-3100 or 090-1066-0869. BB Empire Motor Services Limited, the solution for your car needs and services.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
And we're back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Eagles Outlook live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And this morning we are looking at the latest developments with regards to the cabinet reshuffle under President Bola Tinubu-led administration, the scrapping or renaming of the Ministry of the Niger Delta, and of course what it portends for the region. You can be part of the conversation by calling 09087668888 or 09073530044. Don't forget you can send a message or a voice note to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. Whilst we wait for more calls to come in, I'd like my guests to react to the contributions made before we embarked on that commercial break. You have the floor.
I thank our contributors for listening. One said I've been sentimental or emotional about the whole position or things.
No, please go ahead.
First, as an anti-corruption activist, I have condemned for a very long time, and I continue to do so, the mismanagement of our commonwealth, of our resources dedicated to the development of the Niger Delta region. But as a Niger Deltan, I talk now as a Niger Deltan too, that if, as our people used to say, that if those who are blessed are not prospering, what do you expect from those who are cursed? So if these agencies, these commissions, these ministries that have been created and designated for the development of this region are existing, yet we see such level of abysmal performance and underdevelopment of the region, how worse will it get if these agencies are not existing? So it is on that ground that I stand again to say I agree with our elder statesman saying that it is wrong for the federal government to take away the Ministry of Niger Delta. Whether we like it or not, even if the functions are clashing with NDDC, even if there are issues here and there of leadership, management, mismanagement, we believe that with time we'll get it right. Removing this thing will not solve the problem. Instead, it will create more chaos, or it will create lacuna in the region. Look at what is happening now. That even with the provisions, with the existence of security agencies in the Niger Delta region, they could not curtail crude oil theft. The federal government still has to sit down to say, how do we address the issue of insecurity and vandalization?
But it all boils down to the level of corruption in the region that is being perpetrated by even the masses, the locals.
No, you can't say that.
But who are those responsible for oil theft?
Have you?
Who are those responsible for pipeline vandalism
in every region in the world?
Yes.
Where mineral resources are being explored, the locals are usually the last beneficiaries of what is going on there. Go to the north, where gold is mined and all that. There are stories of foreigners, expatriates, who have set up communities in those regions, who are cutting away illegally the produce from those mining explorations. Do you think the locals in such villages in Zamfara, where bandits are killing them, are the ones benefiting from the gold mining? The answer is no. So it is in the Niger Delta region. The local man whose interest is to go to farm, to get his cassava, or to go fishing to get his fish, you think he really knows what to do with the crude oil? It is a foreigner who knows what to do, who will come in to corrupt the people. So it's okay, can we work with one or two? Even while they are working with one or two, they pick one or two persons to use. The other persons are marginalized and they suffer for it.
Let's take this message from the WhatsApp portal. This one says, good morning, Efe. As usual, we always blame government for our inactions. I'm not exonerating government's shortcoming, but over 90% of corruption going on in the NDDC is done by their sons and daughters, who are the ones embezzling monies meant for developing this region. Scrapping it or what have you is a welcome development because it has actually failed to deliver to the people. Go to the Niger Delta and see the story, the sorry state of infrastructure. People are leaving, yet billions are being, thrown to this region without meaningful development. Abbas from Dutse there. And then this one here says, good morning, I greet your guest. I'm listening from Nasarawa State. The problem I have with all the ministries, not just that of the Niger Delta, is too much corruption. Monies are budgeted and then embezzled for personal enjoyment. We can't continue like this. I expect the Minister of Mine and Steels to have taken steps to stop illegal mining by Chinese and Nigerians. By now, all the attention is on oil. Terkin Bihundu, how are we sure that Chinese are the ones responsible for the illegal mining? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Danoja again.
Welcome back.
I went to my guest to Google it. East and West Road for 5 years. Let it go good. How much they allocate to that place? And then from Niger Delta, just go down to that place. That money where they allocate, a quarter of that money, a quarter of that project is just for that money. And then who will handle all most of these projects? They are indigent of Niger Delta.
All right.
To go and deal with your people.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not a politician, and I am not a supporter of any party. I'm a security expert. Go and find out.
All right, Elder Noja, thank you.
This is the best thing what Tinubu do to bring the ministry together.
Thank you very much.
Let the other people from the other side go to Niger Delta and work.
All right, thank you.
Now, if they give you contract in Niger Delta, if you are not a Niger Delta man, if you carry water, go there. The indigents will choose their app.
Elder Noja, let's leave it here. Thank you so much because of time. Please, I'd like you to react to that and also make your submission.
Elder Noja, I thank you so much for listening and for your contribution so far. But I will also differ slightly too, that there are certain statements that we should not make as persons who are also exposed to the public. We become public. We must have that level of decorum. If not, there are level of information I may just decide to reveal to the public, which are not palatable. You see this word we hear every time, presidency. It will get to a point in Nigeria, maybe there will be a protest for it, for the government to define who exactly is presidency. Because if you go to the Niger Delta region, we've seen the budgets. One, there is difference between budgetary allocation and release of funds. How much funds was released even though this budget was approved? Yeah. You get the point. We must learn to balance that. Secondly, the bulk of contracts that are being awarded in the Niger Delta region, you will hear statements like, these ones were orders from presidency. So who is presidency? The presidency is controlling the bulk of the contracts that are being awarded in the region. So who is presidency? Then lastly, I will add this. Go and check the ownership of companies that these contracts have been awarded to. Go to CSC, check the bulk of the companies that have received award of several projects in the United, and you will see the region where these persons are from.
Okay.
So I say we must maintain this decorum so that we don't incite public and all that. But we must be careful when trying to address some of these issues too.
All right. Well, I'm afraid we just have to leave it here now because of time. One would actually wish we could go on and on with this conversation. We may not have been able to reach a point of departure, but of course we'll leave this conversation for another day. Rights activist and convener, Niger Delta Development Agenda, Itive Nura Popobe, thank you so much for spending part of your time with us today.
My pleasure as always.
I'd like to state very clearly that the views expressed by the guests and the callers or those who sent in messages on the WhatsApp portal were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. That's it for Eagles Outlook today. Until next week, Monday, I am Omoefe Peace Osemere. Good morning.